All right, welcome to the Songcast.com presentation on Breaky CPK. Going to be your shoutcasting host, and joining me is nobody because I'm actually doing a solo cast. I'm just so used to saying that I always say it every single time. But I'm going to be doing a solo cast. Unfortunately, Sooner had to go somewhere. So it was obviously the same two teams. We have TSoG taking on Team RAK. By the way, it stands for TS Gaming, going up against Roam and Kill. I just figured that out. Okay, so Roam and Kill. Solid team there. Good name. Solid name. Anyways, game one, a very interesting game one. Sandwraith playing for Team RAK. They went with the tri-lane Sandwraith, and they got countered by a 2-2-1 by TSoG. TSoG looked very good early on. They had a very well-farmed Pebbles being played by Mr. X. Flint Beastwood, he also had a very good farm as a result of a 2 vs 1. But in the end, they were not ultimately able to push into the base and truly end it. And as a result, sure enough, Sandwraith got way too much farm and ended up taking over the game with the assistance of his players. But more so, really just was Sandwraith. He was just way too freaking powerful. So, anyways, that's how game one went down. And thus, obviously, again, that's why we're looking at a 1-0 series lead in favor of RAK. So game two here, always interesting to see how the picks and bans work out. And the bans, already an interesting ban, noticing, of course. With that said, the 6 bans, we got Thunderbringer, Witchslayer, Gladiator, Devour, Dr. Repulsor, and Sandwraith. Guess what? Sandwraith is banned. Big surprise there. Again, it doesn't show up on my screen, unfortunately. But I think it's safe to say that TSoG went ahead and banned Sandwraith, figuring that RAK is obviously fairly dominant with the Sandwraith hero, as they showed last game. On top of that, the only other different ban, this time being Witchslayer. He too, I believe he was he a part of RAK? I believe he was. I am having a brain fart. I believe he was, yeah. He was part of the tri-lane. It was Witchslayer, Voodoo Jester, so yeah. So he's banned this time around, but the other 4 bans, the same exact bans. The Gladiator, again, I'm not sure who banned him, and like I said, it doesn't show up on my screen. But a very interesting ban. We have been seeing Gladiator a little bit more lately, especially since Fnatic MSI has been so successful with him in the trial line, specifically played by Trixie. So we are seeing a ban here now, maybe as a result of that, maybe just because they figure someone on the other team is actually very powerful with him. But the picks are now going out, and with that said, we got TSoG over there. We're looking at Soulstealer, Glacius, and Magnus to start things off. Interesting combination there, but a very confident combination. I believe Soulstealer was banned last game, in fact. So we did not see him, of course. But this time picked up, I believe, was the first pick. Yes, it was. For TSoG. Not too often we see Soulstealer first pick, actually. But in this case, TSoG wanted to get him out of the way. Very powerful solo mid, of course. It allows RAK to kind of make an adjustment in that sense. An adjustment. Puberty. Glacius and Magnus to follow it up. Could very likely, be trial lane. Could be something else. We'll see. As far as RAK is concerned. You know what? This is the great thing about doing a solo replay cast. Just speed this pick and stage up a little bit right here. Alright, so we got Bubbles, Voodoo Jester, Forsaken Archer, and Behemoth on the Hellborn side. That's they got the makings of a possible tri-lane themselves, especially if they go with that right-click hero. Either one of those, frankly. They already got Bubbles to take care of solo. They got the Forsaken Archer, possible tri-lane. Figuring that he'll match up, or she'll match up nicely against this TSoG lineup so far. But, of course, they're probably going to wait to pick that up until we see what TSoG got. And it's funny hearing the announcer and spit out. But, so for TSoG, they finish off with Valkyrie and Chipper. Chipper, a fun hero lately. We have been seeing him more and more being played by Mr. X. I love that. Mr. X, an awesome chipper player. With that said, though, I do not think we're going to see that tri-lane strategy from TSoG. They've made it known, Papa Drage especially, he has made it known he's not a huge fan of running the tri-lane himself, and if he can help it, they will stay away from it, and that could very likely be the case once again here, as they did last time, with their final 2 pickups. Glacius Soulstealer is a powerful lane. Magnus Valkyrie is also old school powerful lane, and then that could leave Chipper to solo. We'll see if that's the case. Curious to see how TSoG decides to lane here. They definitely got options. As far as RAK is concerned, slowing it down at the end there while we get into the loading here. As far as RAK is concerned, they finished off with Behemoth, or excuse me, no, they already had Behemoth. They finished off with Madman was their final pick. So that does kind of lead you to believe again that they possibly are going to be running the tri lane. But again, if they do, they could very likely run into that 2-2-1 of TSoG. And this time around, they don't have that necessarily vastly superior hard carry to take advantage of going into the later game in Forsaken Archer. By all means, a great carry, but I don't know if you can necessarily say she is on that Sandwraith level, as I just realized I had the replay in the way. Apologize. There we go. And, especially going up against someone like the Soul Stealer and even a Valkyrie on the case of TSoG, it's going to be a back and forth there. Yes, obviously they have Madman over here on RAK, but he will be playing a solo if they lane how I, expect they're going to lane here. And that could cause some issues in terms of lack of farm. We did see last game how Bubbles, he just had a horrible farm last game. And in fact, I believe, I don't think it's actually being played by the same player. I don't recognize Marion being the name for Bubbles last game. It might be, though. I think it was Austin, actually. That sounds more familiar. So I think it is a new player this time around playing that Bubbles for RAK, seeing if he has a better go at it. But yeah, so now the laning phase, really curious to see what really either team does, frankly. We are going to see looks like possibly the Magnus Valkyrie lane middle, and that leaves Soulstealer, Glacius bottom. Both of these lanes, pretty old school lanes here. We have not seen them for a while, but they definitely, like I said, when I refer to old school, they were used quite a bit. And, 3-4 months back, pretty much before the tri-game meta game, I guess you could say. These were, somewhat popular lanes. And then, of course, leaves Chipper to solo the top side. Don't tell me that's true, what you just said in IRC. I'm sorry, getting distracted there. Like I said, I was watching the StarCraft 2 earlier. Someone just gave a spoiler out. That'd be kind of a surprising spoiler if true. Anyways, we do have a pause here, so again, another great thing about being a solo replay cast. Again, if you are just tuning in, I am using my new setup personally that I just finally got working. New headset, new mixer. I'm also recording from my laptop now. Which actually is more powerful, especially in terms of frame rate when it comes to recording the game. So I'm just testing everything out. This is the equipment that I will be using as well, of course, for LAN events, which we actually did use at the DreamHack. So kind of getting back into it with my own equipment, and hopefully it works out better in a sense. Obviously, I am still using the default UI. I was trying to get that figured out earlier, but we were in the process of casting, so I figured, what the hell, we'll do this casting today, and then I'll get that adjusted before next time. I mean, for now, it's the default. I know it's not as flashy, and it definitely isn't as, helpful at times, but you can get all the information you really need. You just have to look a little bit harder, a little bit different. All right, so laning phase, as I said, going to be very interesting what both teams choose to do here. And we are seeing the Madman attempting to go mid, but yeah, he's going to have absolutely no chance. And, well, same thing for the Bubbles as expected, going up against this Glacius Soulstealer. Glacius is just going to sit, he's going to treat Bubbles as if he's a minion almost and just kind of sit up front and auto-attack him. And here we go with the Tundra Blast. So yeah, he's just causing a lot of harassment early on, again, as expected. And Soulstealer, in the meantime, is just, of course, cleaning up down there. So that does leave this Chipper to have, a very difficult time. If anything, he's just going to try to snipe some kills with his rockets. So maybe a little bit different in the sense that TSoG doesn't have Pharaoh this time playing the long lane, who could actually use that Tormented Soul quite effectively to get some creep kills, as well as his obviously having his mummy wall to protect himself. Chipper not as effective in that sense. And right now, in fact, Rust Agent is just literally camping next to the tower. He's not even moving, almost as if he's AFK at the time. But that's kind of what you have to do until you notice the Hellborn team, the support players being elsewhere. And right now, Voodoo Jester, so RAK, unlike last game, they do make the early adjustment, and thank God that they did, because like I was saying, Forsaken Archer, although a very powerful carry hero, she is not on the same level of the Sandwraith, and I think they would have been in a lot of trouble with an underfarmed Madman. A Bloodlust kill in the meantime, however, at the bottom side. Let's do a rewind. We have Bubbles trying to run away right here. Tundra Blast coming out. Auto attacks coming out. Where's the Demon Hand? And there we go. That's how we got. No, it was not a double tap. That was one kill. Good job by Papa Drake, landing that second Demon Hand right there. Or the first Demon Hand, I should say. Good assistance from Glacius as well. So already seeing the 2-1 take solid effect in favor of TSoG. Right now, Valkyrie is heading towards top with Magnus. It looks like actually it's a double damage rune, so Magnus spotted it and allowing Valkyrie to pick it up. Madman, he was curious to go get one himself, but realizing that that's what they were doing. So Noticing that there's not going to be any rune at bottom, he decides to stay in the middle. So with Voodoo Jester at least coming to the middle, Voodoo Jester causes a very solid base attack damage as well as solid range. Excuse me, there makes him arguably one of the best babysit support heroes in the game. So that's good news right now for the Madman. But you can see this double stun. In fact, the arrow was landed right there on the Madman from Valkyrie. Thus, I believe it was even a 5-second stun. So, yeah, the double stun of, again, a classic lane right there, Valkyrie Magnus, really causing a lot of harassment on that Madman, despite Voodoo Jester being here. And still, with him being here, I mean, he isn't able to get that creep farm. He is getting some more levels. At least he can feel a little bit more confident. Because even if he is caught at this point, that acid cocktail will make a turnaround. Unless you use it offensively right there, they're going to go for a kill on Valkyrie, perhaps. No, just going to make it harassment style. She does have that lead. There's a vote to pause, but Madman's in a lot of trouble right here. Leaping, and there's a 1.5-second arrow in your face, and the auto attacks are enough for the kill. However, Magnus, oh, the steam bath will distract just enough as well to set up a getaway. So well played right there from Magnus, and in the end, the combination as a whole get the kill on the Madman. Apparently it's lagging. Okay, they were just resuming right there, so I guess he wanted to pause the game to say so lag. It's just probably a server lag spike, though. Good to go now, however. So yeah, even though RAK made this adjustment, however, Madman still is really not getting any type of farm, and that's really that really is going to hurt RAK, obviously. We have Soul Student in the meantime. I'm sure his farm is just fine. 17 and 14 creep score. That is the tops in the game for both stats. That obviously leaves Bubbles, who once again, although being played by a different player, I do believe from what I recall from last game, still the same situation really. He didn't manage to get a level, but still quite struggling. Of course, we have Forsaken Archer in the meantime. I'm sure her farm is up there as possible initiation at the bottom. But yeah, Forsaken Archer's farm 14 and 6, so not nearly as many denies. In fact, kind of behind at creep kills as well. Someone has only managed to get a 14-6 creep score. And Chipper, again, I haven't obviously been watching a lot of the top lane, but Chipper, he's not doing too bad, especially in levels. He is level 4. That's really not bad for the situation he's been in. I'm just baffled, especially since it seems like every time I go to look at him, he's literally sitting next to that tower. But obviously he has been using those rockets and also pushing up occasionally to get some creep kills in there. Yes, this is. If you are just tuning in again, this is a replay cast. So we got Game 2 here of the GosuGamers Losers Bracket second round. Happened a couple of days ago. We got TSoG versus RAK, and TSoG is currently losing 1-0 here in the second game in the best of 3 series. So TSoG trying to stay alive now. A lot of money in this tournament. More rounds you stay in. Starts to jump up and jump up. Middle action, we do have a stun arrow on a Voodoo Jester. Magnus does not have his lava surge. He already used it initially. Oh, Madman needs to be careful, though. He put himself back in range of what could have been a turnaround Magnus lava surge stun, and that very likely would have set up a kill onto him. So he needs to be really careful, though. One lava surge stun right here will possibly set up a kill. Might sacrifice the life of Magnus, and now it won't as he actually regened all the way up. So yeah, this Madman is forced to play very, very defensively. Has managed to, at least get 9 creep kills himself, but again, just not ideal whatsoever as a result of the scenario. Valkyrie, in the meantime, she's been taking care of a majority of the creep farm herself at a 15 and 7 creep score. Obviously, their goal, though, is just to lock down that Madman, really. I think it's safe to say they're accomplishing that for the most part. Valkyrie going to go hoping that the rune spawns bottom, and will be correct. It's going to be an Invis rune. Nice and good for that bottle. Bottle that one right up, and may use it right away to set up a nice and easy arrow. Not going to use it, actually. Kind of lose the surprise factor by not using it. There are no wards from, or there, excuse me, there is. It was actually stacked on the other one, so it's hard to see. Initiation down here in the middle on Madman in the middle. He takes only a 0.5-second stun, however, from the arrow. And on top of the Mojo being on top of him, now level 2, I'm guessing. It is right there for Voodoo Jester. He does survive the brunt of that damage, but again, just as soon as he goes in right there, just takes the harassment and is pretty much forced to fall back. You also see the Ward of Revelation being placed down from TSoG, so that's been there for a while now, and it's obviously makes that stock a little bit less useful. Chipper going to get caught here at the top side, launches some rockets out, puts the oil out as well. Unfortunately, did it backwards. If you put the oil out first, would have actually done a little bit more damage to Forsaken Archer because of the dot damage, but it wouldn't have been enough for a kill anyways. But he does get away, and using the health potion right away, so Yeah, Russ, I mean, he's done a very good job for what the situation has called of him. Kind of like Defy did last game for RAK. He, despite it being a 2v1 for a majority of the game, actually did a very solid job of harassing and getting some nice kills in there. We have Forsaken Archer and Behemoth falling back right now. Yes, I am using a new setup, guys, for those people that are still curious. There's a nice double combination that they were looking for, and because Valkyrie was a little bit further back, got the nice sniper arrow right there, 3 seconds. And Chipper, in the meantime, getting caught at the top lane. Forsaken Archer and Behemoth do a little bit of a dive right there. Behemoth using that range fissure, of course. Stretching out, getting some nice kills. I understand it's hard for the community to get used to change, but this is a much better setup for many reasons. And it is a very, very much clearer headphone or microphone at that. So I understand I may sound a little bit different, but yes, it is still me. The one, the only, Breaky CPK. Phil sounds like Breaky. Anyways, back to the game. So, we're now looking at a 3-to-1 hero kill advantage in favor of TSoG. Magnus scouting around once again. Oh, he's going to run into a lonely Voodoo Chester right here. Where's the arrow? There's the arrow. Valkyrie right on top of it. Again, being played by Mr. X. As, oh yeah, that's why I'm on Viz. It still goes through. Anyways, Mr. X helped set up the kill right there. Actually got the kill right there. Now going to skirt on out of there. With Magnus at his side. Random rockets coming out from Chipper, trying to get lucky. Magnus and Valkyrie are going to try to maybe set up behind. A good ward aside right there from behind, of course. In case they try to fall back or see if anyone's coming to set up a gank themselves. Oh, we're going to have action right here. Behemoth going to run into the likes of Magnus and Valkyrie. There goes the Magnus ultimate coming off, but a good use of the ultimate. Stopping the ultimate of Magnus, and then the fissure stun. Oh, get away from the arrow. Oh, wow, that was so close right there. I thought the arrow might have sniped him down, but Behemoth is able to get away. What a play right there from Behemoth. Not only did he avoid the Magnus ultimate with the use of his ultimate himself, but the fissure stun to follow it up was a great placement. Sure enough, got away, and now a counterattack here on a Chipper. Out comes some rockets. Behemoth, though, dodging it, uses the Blood Chalice, gets the fissure stun out, and he gets that life right back as a result of being in range of that kill. So, well set up right there from RAK. Excellent play onto Chipper. Getting a kill on him. By no means is he been having a fantastic game, of course, but slowing him down doesn't hurt. Soul Stealer, probably in the meantime, gets a kill on Bubbles, as caught the last of that down here. But Glacius, oh, God, that's a lot of creeps chasing him. Freaking creep train after him. He's going to get away, though. By the way, is he going Aura? Ooh, no, he's going level 2 Tundra Blast. We'll see if he continues that route. Soul Stealer, as you can see, though, has his portal key, of course. With his amazing farm, 375 gold per minute. That's what happens when you're just sitting in a lane, not having much harassment. And compare that to the Forsaken Archer, who is pink. Yeah, so 295 gold per minute. So actually pretty far behind at this point. Nearly 80 gold per minute behind is that Forsaken Archer compared to Soul Stealer. It's not too good news for RAK. And then, of course, there's Madman, who is able to recover a little bit now. As Magnus and Valkyrie have been doing a lot more roaming in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Magnus has, of course, been sitting in this middle lane and picking up his farm after what was an awful start under the circumstances. So RAK, like we were saying, compared to last game, they did choose to make the adjustment to the 2-2-1 this game, and it was definitely for the better. I mean, I don't think it would have made any sense to leave Madman in the middle against that setup and expect anything out of him. So at this game, it definitely made a lot more sense, and they chose to do so. Really was their only option. Kind of comes down to, though, making the picks, figuring you may be going up against a 2-2-1. Got to take that in consideration, of course. Especially since it happened last game. But the Voodoo Jester was able to play mobile. Soul Stealer is farming some creeps here, actually. Behemoth can actually pull the triple stack camp, and he's going to run into Soul Stealer, and wow, good use of that ultimate. He actually stacked right next to the creeps to do max damage, but in the end, Valkyrie, Magnus, and Glacius are all there right on top of that Soul Stealer to support him immediately, and he gets away with these, so nice little setup there. Behemoth, not too often you're going to see Behemoth obviously solo down a Soul Stealer. He attempted right there. Okay, hold on. Actually, never mind. Man, doing his best to defend. Oh, wow, disjointed. And the ultimate canceled by Magnus. That could not have gone any worse for Heidi right there. So, arrow though, wow, what an arrow from Valkyrie. A 5-second arrow landed on Madman, and that is going to buy time to have the getaway happen for Magnus. So what was just awful initiation on Magnus's part, as in the meantime, Voodoo Jester goes down to Papa Drage here from the Demon Hands. Just awful initiation on Magnus's part from the disjoint to the canceling the ultimate. Valkyrie, though, saves him in the end. But Valkyrie in a little bit of trouble himself, but that Portent is going to be enough to scare off this Behemoth from Glacius. So Valkyrie, Mr. X, as we usually see from him playing for TSoG, making some awesome moves happen. Soul Stealer now coming back to the middle lane. He has 30 souls saved up. Still level 10, however. But I heard an arrow hit. Unfortunately, it was a creep. Madman charging in. No, needs to be careful, though. Kind of low on life, running into 3 players. What are you thinking? Glacius ultimate going off. Madman's going to eventually drop after the Lava Surge done as well. Bubbles coming in, but here's Soul Stealer cleaning up. He cleans up on Behemoth. Bubbles, thankfully, didn't pour it in, but he still might be going down. Yes, Soul Stealer just too powerful with the auto attack. Throws out a Demon Hand at the last second, just in case. But, yeah, that was Madman. I'm just not too sure what he's thinking. Maybe he expected more follow-up. I guess that could have just been miscommunication right there. But he kind of went in by himself against 3 players. Obviously, I'm sure there's Fade to Black issues as well. But that was kind of funny to watch. But good job by Papa Drage, though, coming in the end, of course, and cleaning up. And as a result, helping him jump over the 400 gold per minute. Chipper, in the meantime, going 1v1 against Forsaken Archer, using the ultimate to kind of scare her off after getting trapped by the crippling volley. Chipper's recovered, very nice. Still not ideal by any means, but at least he's getting the levels. He is level 8. That's not horrible. Again, for the 2v1 that he was in for pretty much all this game. Magma's going to catch Bubbles and the rockets as well as the arrow from Mr. X to pick up the kill. Didn't actually show up on my screen who got the kill, but I believe it was Mr. X. I don't know though. Random rockets coming, actually almost hitting Forsaken Archer. Madman using that stock for farm. Glacius like, I'm going to sit next to the tower where it's safe. Soul Stealer is... So, I mean, the Hellborn team, they haven't been doing a whole lot to stop the Soul Stealer. And, you know, because of their setup as well, they're really active, could be ganking heroes, haven't really had the effectiveness to do so. Obviously, starting with Bubbles, he just is completely out-leveled, just like last game, and so that's really, really hurting him. Madman's kind of on the same boat as well. I mean, he definitely can be a very early aggressive hero for ganking, but he is not able to accomplish that because of the struggle he had in that middle lane. He is level 9, so not doing horrible on the levels, but his farm is struggling. And obviously focusing on the Soul Stealer, lack of ganks on him has been troublesome. Chipper is got initiated on right there as well as Valkyrie, but they're going to turn this around. Rocket's hitting Behemoth. The dot is starting to take him down. The last rocket will get the kill. Acid Cocktail coming out. They didn't split in time, though. It bounced all the way over to Chipper. Valkyrie getting caught right here. Cannot leap away or anything. Going to use the call to Valkyrie. Trying to turn this around. Ultimate from Voodoo Jester. No, not enough. One more tick would have done it. Not enough for the kill, though. The tower does go down in the process. Miss Rocket right there, but the Lava Surge hitting. And now Voodoo Jester going to get chased down. Another auto attack, maybe. No, that Mojo is going to make him survive a little bit longer. Perhaps even survive overall, unless we see a Lava Surge. There we go, and there's the auto attack. So Magnus stays around and finally finishes him off. Forsaken Archer was kind of nearby, but didn't even have mana for crippling volley, so chose to just play it safe and just let Voodoo Jester die by himself, alone. So there, oh, get the tower kill at least. Oh, well, he doesn't run back. Oh, what a blink by Papa Drage right there. Good, I mean, good job by Behemoth. You can't blame him for reacting like that. If Solskjaer's going to sit on top of the creep wave like that, might as well use your ultimate, but Papa Drage blinking right away just before it happened. And somehow gets away. Valkyrie using her ultimate now, as you can hear. There goes the arrow. Oh, just to the left. That's the second time this game. It's just barely not hit him, but oh god, he is still in trouble. They're still going in. Behemoth just used his Fissure Stun for farm. And that's going to be a problem. I mean, you got to expect after that. Maybe he just didn't see the arrow. I don't know, but he thought he was safe, so he decided to Fissure for the creep farm. Turned out to be a bad move. One second. There we go. All right. Magnus in the top lane. He gets away somehow, and that good Lava Surge stun to do so. Barrel, although hits double damage when Madman stalks through. Uh-oh. He's in the steam bath. He doesn't have a portal key, but he does have a Lava Surge stun. He's going to stun into the river. Madman still wants to chase him. No, barrel roll. Is he going to be in range? It's so freaking close. There we go. Barrel roll now. Doesn't even need it. He's just going to stalk in an auto attack. There we go, yeah. So gets him down. Oh, Solskjaer there jumps in, though. Gets the ultimate off. Got away. The Madman got away, though, a decent distance. Avoids some of the demon hands. Good job on his part. He misses his barrel roll completely, then stalks on through. Obviously, again, both teams really playing on somewhat high latency. We have Southeast Asia versus Sweden, so can't blame them fully. Dodging the demon hand right there, though, just trying to stay alive at this point. Hides in these little mini forest right here, and it looks like it actually will get away from both Chipper and Solskjaer there. Middle lane, something just killed the courier. Hope one's courier just died. Doesn't look like anything was on it, though, as, wow, RAK just, 3 of their players just timing out right there. That's a problem. Must be at a land center or something. We'll go ahead and fast forward to this. Not too often you see half of a team like that. We'll just disconnect. Land centers for the win. All right, back now. Okay. Chipper using that ultimate to farm some newts. See, look at Soulstealer's farm again. God, it just keeps going up. He's just getting way too powerful. Now up to 455 gold per minute. Ay, ay, ay. That's too good. Compare that to Forsaken Archer, who definitely is getting a very good farm herself. 331. She's getting close to finishing her Geometer's Bane after Ring of the Teacher and Steam Boots. She'll have it in about 400 gold. Or 300. I believe it's 500 for the pattern. But she's really the only one having that great of a farm. The next closest is Madman, who's only still sitting around 185. I mean, again, he has been progressing, but very, very slowly. The Legion team has several players that are doing not too shabby. Obviously, starting with the Soul Stealer. Chipper finishing his Gnome's Wisdom. That's a solid pickup there. That'll help for several cases. But he is one of 3 heroes at least over the 200 gold per minute mark, with Magnus at 195 gold per minute. And I would guess who's possibly working on the portal key next. He chose to go a couple of braziers first for stat purposes. Chipper running into this Madman gets a nice combo of rockets right there, but Bubbles and Voodoo Jester were nearby. And that's going to be a cleanup kill to him. Valkyrie, though, looks to clean up himself. Arrow, though. Voodoo Jester takes the arrow for him. The ultimate comes out from Behemoth, and they lock down Valkyrie enough before she can get a kill on either Madman or Voodoo Jester. So that just happened to work out perfectly right there. I mean, obviously that probably wasn't the intention of Voodoo Jester of, you know, diving in front of his demon like, I'll take the bullet for you. But sure enough, that's what happened, and ended up keeping him alive and set up a nice turnaround. So good couple of counter ganks right there from Team RAK. As Chipper and Valkyrie both getting a little bit aggressive. Really want to get the kill on Madman. Forsaken, she has to have her Geometer's Bane finished by now. One looks like she's just about there. Yeah, she'll be able to pick it up very shortly. Ooh, still sitting. No, that's right, it got killed. I was going to say, are they still sitting on a ground carrier? But it did get killed earlier. We'll see if they upgrade that again. There we go, in fact. It is now a bat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Valkyrie went post-haste. Action at the bottom lane, it looks like Solstice ultimate going off, actually doing a little bit of damage. Madman and Voodoo Jester, however, going to run away. So he's trying to get these Solstice ultimates off Madman, but obviously if he reacts quickly with that stock, he can buy a good amount of distance. Have it not do too much damage. So yeah, as I was talking about earlier, right now TSoG, they have four of their 5 players are over that 200 gold per minute mark. Obviously Solstice, they're 450, so drastically over that. But more importantly, again, just like last game, it's their overall farm and spread of farm is very, very good. This game, though, again, they're in a much better position simply because they're not having to worry about a Sand Wraith getting out of control like they did last game, which eventually did take over the game. Magma's going to port out right here. Forsaken Archer is scouting it out, maybe trying to catch him, but that's not going to happen. Finally finishing our Geometer Spin. Portal Keys now are going to be the next in-line race between Behemoth and Magnus. Magnus having the slight advantage there at 1,400 gold saved up, while Magnus has around 1,000 or so. So obviously, either one getting that's going to be huge for both teams. It really is, as it always is. Solstice having his Shrunken Head, however, now. That will be damn useful against this Hellborn side. More so for the CC purposes, especially from Behemoth. Solstice, Bubbles scouting right there with this turtle shell, maybe even thinking about porting over, but I realizing that they're coming, so playing pretty far back. Good use of that Water Revelation as well as Word of Sight. So again, as you saw, they placed the Water Revelation first, just in case. But nothing there from the Hellborn team. But now the Hellborn team, obviously, they're pretty sure they have an idea that's what happened. This is TSoG's courier right there. I guess he's bringing over some wards. Bottom lane Chipper has been pushing it up a little bit by himself, going against this Madman. And now a Behemoth as well. Mr. X keeps canceling that arrow just like he did last game. Bubbles going with the turtle shell, not going to advance in. Missing crippling volley right there from Forsaken Archer. Here comes Solstice, though, right on top of Forsaken Archer. Started at half-life, just melted immediately after that ultimate. Absolutely no chance. Bubbles is going to try to run away right here, but take over. Yes, he ports through before the Glacius ultimate did too much damage, but Madman, for some reason, thought it was necessary to come in, and he gets annihilated as a result, so the Glacius ultimate was almost a waste. But it turned out to be pretty damn useful, actually, as Madman thought it was smart to actually come back into there. So, TSoG getting a nice kill right there. Now going to this top lane. Magnus has already been here. He's got to be very close to that portal key. In fact, he has 1,900 plus gold saved up. Now going to push the tower. Middle lane. Behemoth actually going down to Chipper. He also was pushing in this tower a little bit. He was also pushing the bottom one earlier. Vulnerability used, but this top tower very likely going to be going down. Whether or not it can be denied by Bubbles, he's going to be taking a risk, though, if he goes in there. In fact, Soldier there ports in. Now Bubbles in a lot of trouble because he used a turtle shell to go forward, and he ends up getting taken out. Glacius also came in to freeze him. And Valkyrie, of course, going to post-haste teleport somewhere after the tower kill. Great play right there. Glacius freezing the wrong target. That would be an illusion. Ooh, Solstice they're choosing to use a Shrunken Head right there. That was a little bit interesting scenario. Chipper, though, in the meantime, gets actually taken out by Madman. See, using the ultimate, not enough, though. Madman picking up a Sustainer. Well, obviously, a Ruined Axe at this point would be very, very late. Kind of lazy to believe that he's possibly going for a Null Stone. Why, I wouldn't really know. Guess he could be going for this or the Ruined Axe still. Yeah, this Solstice, though, has just been way too out of hand throughout this whole game. That's usually, I mean, obviously, you like to say that whenever we see Solstice like this, it does some partial of the blame is to come on the opposing team, and that is the case here. I mean, RAK, they really didn't do much in terms of ganking or even really caring about that Soul Stealer. He just sat at that bottom lane the whole game in a 2-versus-1 with Glacius partnering him, going up against the solo Bubbles, and that's pretty much where RAK left it at. So they are definitely to blame in terms of this Soul Stealer getting the free farm that he's gotten. And it's just not easy to overcome. I mean, the portal key Shrunken Head combination alone is already that very, very powerful, of course. Now you're having to deal with him now going DPS-focused items. So they're jumping on top right here. The ultimate goes off, taking out Madman. The Chipper ultimate was also up. Behemoth ends up going down as well. And Valkyrie is now chasing down this Voodoo Jester. Voodoo Jester going to make his getaway, but 2 kills happening right there for TSoG. And now, of course, going to make a tower push out of it. Easy tower kill again. Now this middle one sitting at half-life. Glacius running into Voodoo Jester in the jungle. Both going to use their ultimates. Magnus stunning it. Oh, kind of sucks Magnus came there. Would have been funny to see them actually damage each other down with using their ultimates and see who would have won it. That would have been really close, if anything. But Magnus had to ruin the party and actually save his teammate. Well played, Hyde. So they got all the outer towers down. I mean, yeah, that's just another thing I haven't really touched on too much, but TSoG still has all their towers up except the top first tower, so they've only lost 1. That's just another reason why they're in a very, very good spot here. And we see the chain timeout again. Uh-oh. Yep, definitely at a land center. Go ahead and fast forward once again. Uh-oh. Pew, pew, pew. Okay. That's good. Alright, so they're all back. Soul Stealer, he now has 2,700 gold saved up. Possibly going straight for that Frosto Skull. Tablet of Command now picked up on Chipper as well. Keeping the support up. Ward bitch on Glacius. And of course Magnus having that portal key for a while. Now does Behemoth? No, Behemoth still doesn't have his. I guess he's been occupied trying to set up ganks or counter ganks and even dying a couple times. Madman hiding off in the forest, getting away from a gank right here. Still not out of the woods just yet. Takes a rocket right there. They know where he is. He's going to stalk. Do they have dust or anything? I believe they can see him somehow. The Water Revelation. No, there we go. Now he's going to be out. He used the stock again. Missing the Lava Surge because of the freeze, actually. And Madman might have actually made his getaway. No, the rocket hits him at the last second. There goes a Chipper ultimate. And the kill on Madman. So Madman did everything he could right there to try to actually get away. But in the end, just a little bit too much. A 5-man gank for you from TSoG. They did have a Water Revelation down right there, as you can see. Nice rocket right there from Rush Agent 007. Showing off his bond skills. Behemoth sitting on 1,500 gold. He's keeps on getting up there, but not able to actually get the portal key. I mean, even at this point, it still would be a very valuable pickup, so, and it allows for a very powerful turtle. Not Bubbles, but a turtle team. Because the Legion team always has to be worried about the presence of getting ported on top of and a Behemoth ultimate coming out. Valkyrie took a random stun right there, sitting on top of a ward of sight. She's like, maybe there's a ward of sight here. Right now, the RAK playing very scared, very defensive, as that's kind of where they're at right now. It's not. I guess they really don't have much of a choice. Forsaken Archer may actually get caught here by Soul Stealer, and this is going to be an interesting 1-versus-1 if they choose to go at it. But Forsaken Archer launched the crippling volley and fell back, figuring that there might have been more there. But as you can see from the minimap, that wasn't the case. Better to be safe than sorry, though. Classic term there. Shrunken Head finished on Forsaken, so another solid pickup. We're going to go for Congra now. Crossbow Skull was finished on Soul Stealer. What's Valkyrie been going? She's got a Warhammer. I guess she could be going for a Shield Breaker. Would be a nice addition for this team and help Soul Stealer a little bit more. As well as herself, of course. Not a whole bunch of damage here. Only have that aura from minus armor, but eventually going to go down. Magnus, though, needs to be careful. Drops fairly low. Soul Stealer, though, picks it up, I'm guessing. Yes, he does. Ooh, jumps on top. That's an illusion, though. I was about to say, he's dropping pretty damn fast. But it's like, is he really that powerful? No, he's not. Scouting with the illusion. It's another one right there. Madman's been pushing the top lane while this is going on, so he's still sitting on the Sustainer now. Again, I just don't see the point for a Null Stone, so I guess it really is the makings of a Runed Axe, but maybe it's a Sacrificial Stone. That'd be rad. Could just got the Sustainer just for the purpose of the Sustainer. You don't need to upgrade items. In case you didn't realize, guys. Soul Stealer jumps on top right here with his ultimate after that Fissure Stun came out, but the Shrunken Head preventing that, of course. And an easy kill on a Voodoo Jester, so did use his ultimate to do so, but hey, he got the kill on him. And again, making RAK play very scared, as they've been doing for a majority of this game. So again, another game that, you know, kind of came down the laning phase more so much in this game than the last game, in fact, I think. But yeah, just RAK, the way they picked their lineup, it wasn't too friendly to making the adjustment, and having Bubble solo once again and getting absolutely nothing. I don't know. It's just very, very difficult for them. I think it almost might have been better just to assume that they're going to run 2-2-1 again and then just match up 2-2-1 yourselves as a result instead. Or, you know, even go for the trial lane with a hard carry, something like a Chronos, or just a really carry that you're confident that can out-carry really anyone that can pick up a Dark Lady even. Like they did with the Sandwraith last game. But they went with a Forsaken. Papa Drach is actually close to an Immortal. That's a good point. He is 13-0. Might see the Immortal. Immortal. Still, I'm shocked they haven't changed that. He's just chilling here at the bottom lane by himself. I really think this game is. It is unfortunate that we're kind of at a sit still right here, but it's just because RAK is literally sitting in their base. I mean, even Forsaken Archer at this point, she's just sitting in her base. They do have a turtle that starts with Behemoth. Whenever you have a Behemoth, especially now with the Portal Key, which you finally got, I mean, you always got that turtle presence and you know, a team turnaround fight presence where he jumps into the midst of that team fight after the TSoG maybe pushes up a little bit, kind of all of a sudden forgetting about the Behemoth, going for kills, and he just jumps in out of nowhere, his ultimate, and you're like, oh my god! So TSoG, you can't blame them for not necessarily pushing in aggressively here. There's no reason for them to, really. Madman, he continues to go to the top lane, though. Again, what is he sitting on? He must be sitting on a good chunk of gold. He must have just bought something. Is there anything on the courier? No, there's not. I don't have my Breaky Vision mod on this computer. I guess I could do it this way. Just drop down. Okay, this is... I'm going to have to scroll up so you can see the time left. There we go, God. I really want to see what he has on his damn... Okay, he has a broadsword, so wow. He is going for a Runed Axe still. Ugh. You know, it's kind of just those one-dimensional builds. You say to yourself, I'm going to Runed Axe, I'm going to Runed Axe. You know, 36 minutes in the game now, still doesn't have it, and well, apparently still working on it. That's unfortunate. Shield Breaker on Valkyrie. So she did finish that. Yeah, not the most entertaining game. But again, I mean, that's not the fault of TSoG. Oh, I thought that actually might have blocked him. But he was able to walk down the cliff right there. That might have actually... They might have been able to make something of that if he actually was trapped. Maybe not, though. Looks like Solstice, by the way, working on a wing bow now. It's at the point. That'll be his last item in terms of what he can get. Unless he wants to sell the steam boost or something. Which I doubt he'll do. After that, it's all about buybacks. Madman got the 37-minute Runed Axe, guys. We have initiation in here in the middle end in the meantime. Glacius dropping really fast, but Behemoth, he's going to die in the end. So it looks like he did jump in. He didn't even ultimate, actually. Oh, that sucks. Glacius using the ultimate while in Viz with Valkyrie. Ends up going down, actually, to Bubbles. But Solstice there picking up the double tap, and we actually saw the Immortal right there. Again, it's just not epic enough. I can't even hear it. But here, Immortal. That's in case of what it was if you missed it. Immortal. We have Magnus porting in. The stun, though, does not go through to the shrunken head from Forsaken. Now comes an acid cocktail. Solstice, they're probably going to be dropping right here. But again, he's doing this because he has that token of life, so he's going to resurrect right back up. And he actually, he attempted to port out right there. Actually wasn't successful. But Magnus will port in. Unfortunately, it only was illusions. So I was hoping for a better ideal situation, but that wasn't the case. So in the end, Legion team used actually quite a bit right there to only get Behemoth and Bubbles taken out, which was really in the beginning. So, and Papa Drach kind of uses Token of Life. I didn't pay attention to see how much. I believe there's still a decent amount of time left, in at least 3 or 4 minutes. But decided he wanted to use it there. Die, you illusions! Ha! I just ruined your Geometer's Bane. You now have to wait 20 seconds. How long is it? It's probably 50 seconds. You now have to wait 50 seconds. I mean, Madman, so he's got the Runed Axe now. It'll help him fall. I guess that's really what RAK's strategy is here. They, as long as it took to get that Runed Axe, now around 37-minute mark, they're like, well, now he can get his farm up. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. And again, that's kind of a minor problem right there. In the meantime, in the middle lane, double damage rune activated Soldier. The rocket's also going to hit, but a good fissure block right there. Blocking really the whole team except Valkyrie just leaps right over. But in the end, Forsaken Archer will live. But yeah, the point I was going to, I mean, it seemed like their strategy, he was so focused on getting that Runed Axe that they figure we can turtle long enough that eventually, because of that Runed Axe on Madman, he would somehow amazingly get the farm to just overtake the game. But I mean, when theoretically, if he actually was getting the consistent farm that Solstice was getting, you know, maybe. But he's kind of behind at this point. Even with that Runed Axe now, he's, I was going to say around 280 gold per minute behind, around there. No big deal. Magnus going to stun in here, catching Forsaken Archer. A lot of shrunken heads going off, including Solstice after he jumps in. Bubbles, Forsaken Archer all spreading out. Voodoo Jester as well. He's chasing this Voodoo Jester, going to pick up the kill on him. Forsaken Archer, though, just doing as much damage as possible himself. But is not too much, unfortunately, especially for that Solstice there. Magnus uses the ultimate once again. That was a much better use of the ultimate. Not doing enough, though. And again, now he needs to be careful. Rockets coming out, all missing. But Forsaken Archer will fall back. And there goes the tower kill. So we could very likely, I mean, again, haven't really seen RAK before, so not sure how in terms of conceding they are. Willing to concede, I guess I should say. But at this point, it's I wouldn't be surprised, I guess is a good way to put it. Soul Stealer, yes, he did continue his Immortal. Yeah, Rockstar. Chipper, he might actually be going Sackstone. Got a Glowstone Sustainer. Wingbow was finished on Soul Stealer, of course. So, like I said, at this point now, it's just about buybacks and saving that last slot for Homecoming Stone or something. What would it sound like if I did it? Immortal, motherfucker! That's what it would sound like. That's one of the rare times I'll actually cuss on a live stream, guys. Well, in a VOD for that matter. But that's what I really think it should say. I think that's a little bit better than just immortal. How boring. SoulStreaker there pushing the middle lane by himself. There's a bot or a top tower push here from the Hellborn side. Valkyrie, gets the arrow off just before the stun goes out. And she actually leads away, still gets stunned by the fissure, but she gets away before any damage is done. And the Hellborn team, they're like, yeah, what are we doing here? Magnus is going to stun in. He gets a stun on 2 of the heroes. Takes a dust right there, so in case he did want to steam bath, which he did, and unfortunately goes down. The Valkyrie ultimate going off, however. Gets the kill onto Voodoo Jester in the process. Behemoth goes down, and then that's a 1-for-1 battle right there, sacrificing his life. But who cares about that? In the meantime, the middle tower was being pushed. SoulStreaker ultimate, the silence prevented it. And Bubbles gets away. SoulStreaker actually getting caught right here. Good ultimate from Forsaken. Madman coming in as well. SoulStreaker could possibly be going down, and he gets caught. And yes, he will be. So he does not have enough money for a buyback, actually. As being level 22, he only has 1,400 gold. I don't believe that's enough, at least. And Chipper also gets picked off. So, wow, are you kidding me? These racks are still up. I thought they would have been taken up in the time before, but somehow RAK has managed to keep both of the racks alive. RAK has kept the racks alive. And Glacius is the only one up, so possible Kongor attempt. Really, wow, this could get interesting. A lot more interesting than I figured. Doing the math, I mean, right now it's about a 21,000 gold lead for the Legion team on top of around 14,000 experience lead, so still a fairly good-sized gap lead, of course, but Rocket's a Kongor kill right here. That Madman with his 37-minute Rune Axe, you never know. I would guess he might be going Shrunken Head. This next down, by the way, the Mighty Blade. Magma's gonna stun in, though, with the ultimate. Look at the damage coming out. Gets a kill on 3 of them right there. Kongor actually got a kill on 1 of them, but a double tap right there for Mag. Or actually, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Something happened. Looks like Glacius also got to go with his Tundra Blast. Behemoth, he's going to try to run away. Not going to happen, though. So, oh, man, for RAK. Now they should just concede now. I mean, after that, there's no way you can stay in a game after that. They had a somewhat okay, maybe a possibility there with the Kongor kill, but sure enough, they got taken out, and he got, obviously, that's another just timeout, but rather than pause, I would think that they would just say, yeah, you know what, it's probably over. Let's take it to Game 3. Again, they did take Game 1, so this would tie it up at 1 apiece, and looks like we're on our way officially to that Game 3. Gonna be, it's been a fun series, it really has. Game 1, a really awesome game, back and forth, great comeback from RAK. This one, for the most part, it's pretty much been all TSoG, but a fairly long game at that. Definitely had its turtle points. Not too fun to watch, but in the end, it looks like TSoG, they are going to vote to pause, though. It's like, well, really? Okay. Let's go ahead and... I mean, they still do have the RAK, so I guess you can't fully blame them. Wow, this is a fairly long pause. They really waited this long for one player to come back in this case. That's actually kind of funny. This has to be like a 10-minute pause at least. He might not even come back, actually. What's that sound? Fast forward sound. Wait. Alright, looks like he's connecting right there. Yeah, I honestly can't believe they waited this long for one player to come back in this game. Yep. There we go. Now, so wouldn't it be funny if they just conceded after? That would be so good. If RAK's like, all right, we concede. It's like, we needed to have him come back first, but thanks for letting him come back, but we concede. That would have been great. But, we're asking for another pause. Yeah, I don't think either team can. Yeah, neither team can pause at this point. Well, it sucks for them. I mean, stuff happens, but when you use all 6 pauses... All right. By the way, Papa Drade's streak was stopped, obviously. Unfortunately, no more Immortal. So TSoG, as they've been doing for the majority of this mid to late game, they've just been pushing all 3 lanes in. keeping the pressure on, making them decide where they want to go set up a defense. Madman is... Oh, everyone's here, it looks like, so I don't think any, unless they're microing him, but yeah, no one's disconnected, so I believe everyone's here. They still do have the racks. That is kind of surprising, but I do think the main part of that is because TSoG, they chased quite far. I believe Magnus is like somewhere all the way up here or something. So here we go. Now they're going to go for it. Behemoth jumps in. He gets an ultimate off only on Valkyrie and Glacius, though. And he's going to lock down Glacius at least. Gets him killed. But the ultimates from the Legion team turning it around. Bubbles finally gets his off. But he gets dropped immediately after. Madman trying to take this damage. All he has is a rune deck, so what is he going to do? Somebody died. Well, actually, Valkyrie had the token alive. She's going to resurrect. And Forsaken Archer is just going to fall back, so nothing he can do. She, he, it, whatever. Chipper gonna go 1 versus 1. Valkyrie, Magnus, leaping in. There's a Lava Surge. Can they set up the Genocide right here? Shieldbreaker debuff. Doesn't look like they're barely going to get it, but there's the vote to concede, so it still is kind of funny. Don't kill the meatball. But yeah, it looks like that might officially do it. So, Game 3 going to be coming up next. Awesome series, man. Game 1 was quite an entertaining game. Game 2, it definitely had its downsides. I mean, there was a lot of momentum breakers, a lot of, just pausing, sitting around, but not to the fault of TSoG, though. I mean, they definitely were looking to win this game, but can't blame them for not running into a Behemoth Turtle defense. In the end, though, they out-farmed them, of course, and they get the victory. So, tied up at 1. This is a loser's bracket. You lose here, you're done. You win here, you stay alive. Game 3 going to be coming up next. Stay tuned.